the purchasing power isn't there. It's not strong.
It's back there. 19 cents a gallon. 25 cents a gallon.
And now it's what, 219, 225.
Yeah, I remember I used to get it that cheap, man. That was back in probably about 63, 2,
$5 to get you to take your tank somewhere.
25 cents.
And what's going on is the dollar is decreasing. The value of the dollar is decreasing. Like I said, if you give me a bar of gold and I give you a certificate saying, hey, this certificate is worth a bar of gold, and then you take that certificate, and then you make 2 of them and say, and you give it to a person and say, this certificate is worth a half a bar of gold. And then you make another certificate. Now that the dollar you gave out is now a quarter, now you're dealing with a third and a tenth, and then that's how the dollar is. So when they have bailouts like President Barack Obama did, $1 billion bailouts, that wasn't a plus for the government. That was a negative for the poor people because it's gonna hyperinflate the prices. It's gonna turn a bag of chips from $1 to $1.75. Rich people can afford that. The poor can afford that. And what did he do with the bailout money? He didn't take it and bring it to the people, to the poor, the people that needed the money. He took that money and sent it straight to the banks. Okay? A bank will sit there and take billions of dollars and flush it down the drain or mishandle it, and then they'll say, oh, okay, here's a billion more dollars. But let us mess up in college, $6,000, and it'll mess up our credit for life. See? And then people will say, oh, well, he gave bailout to the government, so he's a good president. No, man. He gave bailouts to the banks. Don't you know that bailout money that he gave could have gave every household, every citizen household that registered to vote or whatever, they could have gave them over $250,000 per household. What you think we're gonna do with the money? Go and get rims with it? $250,000, we're gonna go buy houses, we're gonna go buy cars, we're gonna go buy groceries. It's gonna pay off debt. It's gonna pump into the system. But what did he do with that money? That very same money, he gave it to the banks. What do you think the banks gonna do? They're gonna take that money and they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna loan out more money. You know, it was a business move for the elite, not the poor. But it made it look like it was a move for the poor instead of the elite. You know?
And the brother's going in right now, man. It's all accurate because in 2008, what collapsed? The housing market and the car industry. GM, Chrysler, all those companies, they went under.
Where you think all the loan forgiveness programs come from? You think it just sprouted up from nowhere? It came right after the bailout. They calling you on your phone, hitting you up. Hey, we got a loan forgiveness. You went to college in such and such time, you'll get a loan forgiveness. That came from them bailouts, man. They ain't doing nothing. They're gonna take that money, use that as a tax write-off. They're gonna take that money and say, oh, we gave grants, so you can give us free money from this place, and then we'll turn that money and move it to this place, and then take that money and use it for a yacht or something, man. That's all they do. You know, but the dollar is crashing. You know, it's gonna come to a point. Let's get that in Second Ezra's. Victuals shall come so good cheap. It's gonna get so bad to the point that America. Yeah, it's okay. That the victuals gonna come so good cheap that it's gonna be the end of this place. Okay. Go ahead.
Second Ezra 16:21 says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth."
What are victuals? TVs, sofas, beds, cars, houses. It's gonna be so good cheap. Go ahead.
That they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Yeah, you're gonna look at the Dow, you're gonna look at the stock market and think, oh, America's okay. Okay, go ahead.
And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
What's going on now? Like we was talking about earlier, Charleston, you got what's that Spanish country? They got terrorist attack. Barcelona.
Yeah, that was Spain.
Barcelona, Spain, they got a terrorist attack. France having terrorist attack. Yemen is always going into it. And then it's uproars and roars of the people within our own country, so-called own country, right now. But everything's cheap. You know what I'm saying? Everything's at an easy price. Buy one, get one at this price. You know, you can get this. You can get a car at this price. You get a loan at this price. 0%. Where do you think that's coming from? You think money just sprout up from nowhere? Money don't sprout up from nowhere.
Can I see your Bible? Just face
You know?
That's 1611.
Yeah, it's 1611.
Yeah.
They got the Apocrypha,
Yeah,
the second Ezra's.
I got the same book.
You know?
Yeah, I got that.
And that's another thing. The Bible says, don't add or take away from the word of God. They took books out the Bible, man. To the point that if we present that Bible to an average American, they'll think we reading from a foreign book or something, man. That's the original. That's one of the closest English translated Bibles you can get.
1611.
1611. When you read the words, you can tell. You know.
Hey, I say something, man. All the other Bibles, when you put that one, compare it with like what's that? All these revised
The
Bibles.
NIV.
They show where they take out. I got a guy here showing where they take out all add, take out. Sometimes whole chapters are even taken out, man. How they're taking whole chapters out of the Bible.
One main one
and
is
people around here living blind, and they don't even know. They read stuff. They reading lies, man. Because they're reading this New International or
It's
Revised
I
System.
ain't gonna get it, but what does it say? Them smooth words, man.
That's right.
You know, speak unto smooth things. It sounds good, make it seem all polite and easy to read. No, hey, the Lord was straightforward, man.
And I looked
He said
at
he was
I looked
austere,
at one
man.
Bible and said, what's that? Isaiah 8:20, where it said, to the law and to the testimony. It said they speak not according to that because there's no light in them. A couple of Bibles don't even have that in. They erased that out.
That's crazy.
And they skip to the next. That whole verse is left out. And they skip to the next one. That's man.
Because it allows you to come off your own opinion and be right. Everybody can be right in their own way.
Everybody can get the God in their own path. But like we were saying, we're in a debt-based system. The way that the dollar was created, or for example, the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned bank, a privately owned company, went to America and they said, okay, we're gonna loan you $10. Okay, so here's $10. If we created $10, now you gotta pay us back 1%. So that's $11. But if they only created $10, you can't pay back 11 if only $10 was created. So now you gotta borrow another $10 to pay back 11. So when you go back to pay back the next 10, you gotta pay an extra $2, so you gotta borrow more. So that's why the debt will never be paid off, because they keep creating money, and every time they create 10, they gotta pay back another $1 or whatever. So it's gonna keep going up and keep going up and keep going up until it crash.
Yeah, and then, like you said, they not only they do that, but they create money out of thin air. You know, I take this, like I said, you got a bar of gold. You give me a bar of gold, and your certificate represents a bar of gold. But then I go to Joe Smo down the street and tell him I'll loan you a bar of gold, and you got to pay me 3 bars of gold. So now it's a whole game of playing numbers with numbers that don't exist. That's why if you make a run on a bank, they ain't gonna let you do that, because that money ain't actually there. You know, they just banking on the fact that everybody ain't gonna take their money out at one time. Because if you try to do that, which they did in England, London, England, when they had a problem with the tuition, anything that happens in London will come to America a couple years later, in which they had a problem with tuition, and people was making a run on a bank. And when people was trying to take all their, basically a run on the bank is when you take all your money out. Basically everybody in Nebraska or Omaha go to Centris, United, and they all say, I want all my money out at one time. What happened out there in real life? Police came and said, we about to take you to jail, you to jail, you to jail. For what, taking my money out? You know? How is that illegal, taking something of my own out? You know why? Because they don't have the money. And what you're doing is technically illegal according to Federal Reserve or their banking system. You know?
And legally, when you put your money in the bank, they're only obligated to give you 10%. They can take that, they literally take that other 90 and they loan it out. That's how loans are made. So if there is a run on the bank, legally, if you got $100 in there, they only really have to give you $10.
Let's get that in Daniels. Daniels with the statue, okay? Because the Bible prophesied about that. Let's get that real quick. Hold this for me. Y'all brother. There you go. This is the stage we're in right now. This is Babylon, the gold kingdom. You got the Medo-Persian Empire. You got Greco-Roman, the Greece, the Rome, and then you got the modern day, which is iron mixed with clay. Now, people say that iron mixed with clay is talking about, it's a weak. No, that clay. If you look up that, let's get that word, that definition of clay in that verse, and it's going to tell you that clay means depth, okay? And if you look at the quality of the metal, gold is the most purest, but it's the most weakest. But once you get to bronze, silver, then brass, then iron, it gets stronger, but it dilutes in quality. And that's what happened to every kingdom. Babylon was the richest kingdom, but it wasn't the military might wasn't as strong as Rome. Rome had the strongest military might, but they had the weakest value in money. Okay?
Rome's still gonna be the strongest.
Yeah, but they didn't know that dragon, that head was smitten unto death, but it grew back, and it was with the first,
right. The United States had two horned beasts. Rome was the beast which was wounded. And the United States, the beast that come up out of the earth, had two heads like he was giving all his power to that Roman power.
Exactly.
Right. That's what's wrong with DC, England, and Rome.
Exactly. That's a three.
One is the war power, that's the United States.
Yep.
Money is England, and Rome is religion.
The Vatican.
That's right.
The Vatican, because you got
religion.
London.
Number three states.
London got the what? Why London is on the financial pinnacle? Because it got the first central bank.
That's right.
Military might goes to America, and like we said, Rome got the Vatican. Okay, so that's the three frogs that was used to manipulate the whole world. Okay, you got that? You go ahead. You got it? You got it? Yeah. I want the we in Daniels? I want Daniels real quick. I want the Daniels, but the Daniels going to the definition of place. So I'm gonna read it. They get the definition. Yeah, get the one the depth in the same verse for that.
Okay, this is Daniel's 2:31. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass.
Like we said, now Babylon's the richest kingdom. Babylon as a kingdom had over 150 states. America just got 50. Okay? If you watch, everybody watched 300. You know what I'm saying? They had different kingdoms. They basically, the movie 300, if you imagine that as an actual kingdom, they had North, they had Canada, and they had South America, they had Mexico, and they had Brazil. They had all that together as one kingdom. Okay? So you go ahead.
It says, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Alright, you got that definition for clay?
Yeah, that clay there is Strong's H2635. It says clay pottery. He really don't get too much of that.
Let's get the one with the depth. That's why I said it's connected to. You know?
This is clay based off the Habakkuk 2:6.
Verse 9?
Habakkuk 2:6 says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and It say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Woe to him that increases that which is not his. It's talking about Esau in America, because everything that they're increasing in is not for them. You know, with the oil, what's the for the cell phones, they're going over there in Iran. And every time they go in so-called spread democracy, it's all about resources. That's all it's all about. Because at the end of the day, here it is, you're in other countries. The countries ain't at war, they're not beefing, but you leave your military there. Why you need to have your military there? You know? We got something?
Okay. Officer Wade.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Ladeth himself with thick clay. So let's get the definition of that word clay.
And that clay there is Strong's H5671. It says, weight of pledges, heavy depths.
Heavy depths. So that iron mixed with clay is basically their military might and their depth. Because America really got strong off the fact of the Federal Reserve note, which was started on Jekyll Island. Because at a point, you had $1 and it say backed by gold. You know what I'm saying? This money is backed by gold. But then they changed it to saying Federal Reserve note. You know what I'm saying? And that word Federal Reserve, you could call it a fiat note, would mean so let it be. Because $1 could be 50 cents, or it could be $1.